in the league in walks. So two teams that are used to taking pitches and driving up counts as we have yet another full count here. It's 3-2 here to Yohandy Morales, leadoff man in the bottom of the 6th. Full count pitch. Swing and a miss. Down goes Morales. Nick Stewart able to record his 2nd K of his appearance.
Yep, good start here for Stewart, and especially for as rocky as it did start. I mean, it could have gotten out of hand for him after he gave up the double, the bunt single, and then that run comes across to score. But bounce back, got a couple of quick outs, and comes right back here, picks up where he left off with a strikeout.
So now in steps Jimmy Crooks. Crooks 0 for 1 today with a walk. Struck out swinging back in the 2nd inning. First pitch thrown to him is a ball high and away, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch hit on the ground. Dive from Putz, can't stop it. That'll get into the outfield. It's a 1-out single from Jimmy Crooks.
Yep, Tim, that will put Jimmy Crooks on first, although not very aptly named. He is not very good at thievery. 0 for 3 this year on stolen base attempts.
We'll have to see what Wareham opts to do with him on the base pads.
To be fair, he is also a catcher, so not typically the kind of guy you expect to be a speed demon.
Not the most blistering speed, of course, as mentioned. Cameron James now steps in, 1 for 2 so far today. Struck out looking in his last at-bat in the 4th inning. He had Crooks and Morales on base back then. This time around, just Crooks stands on first. It's a 1-1 count to him. James steps in. Stewart staring down and delivers. Ball's going to be popped up foul, 1-2.
And Stewart's had guys just off the rhythm in this game. He hasn't really been able to get a lot of pitches right by guys, but he's gotten a lot of soft contact and a lot of foul tips. And that's allowed him to work ahead in counts as he gets ahead 0-2 here of Cameron James.
It is completely dark now here, save for the lights at Spillane Field. 0-2 pitch. That one skips in the dirt. Crooks will move down to 2nd. And now Wareham, with only 1 out, has a man in scoring position.
Yep, we've seen this a couple of times in this game. Tres Gonzalez led the first off with a double, got to 3rd, didn't come around to score. Cameron James got to 2nd with 1 away, couldn't come around to score. Yohandy Morales got the 2nd in the 4th, 1 away, couldn't come around to score. Now Jimmy Crooks here in the 6th. Hoping it'll be a different outcome with 1 away. Cameron James and Kellum Clark, 2 guys due up here for the Gateman.
And that advanced runner does take out the double play opportunity. Stewart looks in and delivers. Ball's going to be fouled off. Count stays at 1-2. Take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard real quick. Couple finals to mention once again. Brewster finalizing their win over Chatham, 3-1. Katuitt leading, or they beat Hyannis 6-1 over at Lowell Park. Not sure what the status of the Bourne and Orleans game is.
I believe still in a weather delay.
May still be in a delay. And Falmouth leading 2-0 over the YD Red Sox in Falmouth. 1-2 pitch. This one's hit. One hopper. Preisner able to stop it. Stands up. Cannot make the throw. He falls back to the ground as he decides whether to throw over to 3rd or 1st. And everybody's going to be safe. Runners now at the corners for Wareham.
And this is now back-to-back innings that Nick Stewart has had runners at the corners with less than 2 away. So danger closing it a little bit. Kellum Clark is 0 for 2 today, but we'll see. It looks like, quick update on that Bourne game, scheduled to resume at 9 p.m. as that is in a rain delay.
Of course, Bourne used to some long delays, had that 2-hour delay earlier with them this season. Runner goes, throw down to second. Levens, the throw was high. Preisner coming over, couldn't apply the tag as he tried to reach down to tag Cameron James, but James a nice slide to get beneath the tag, and now you have two in scoring position here. Cameron James on second, Jimmy Crooks on third if you're Wareham. You're down by just one with one out. A single here could put you in the lead if you're the Gateman.
Yeah, this is absolutely huge for Wareham. They need this one in a bad, bad way. They've got a chance to potentially take the lead here.
1-0 pitch. That one's going to miss high and away. It's now 2-0, and that's a similar situation to what we saw last time around. It was a hit and run that was put on that moved Jim Jarvis up to second base last time for the Gatemen. This time a stolen base, no hit in action for Wareham. 2-0 count here. Stewart looking to find the strike zone. Ball hit on the ground, pulled foul. Now 2-1.
And you see Stewart reaching back for a little something extra on these fastballs, but struggling to put it in the zone here. Could really use a strikeout if he could get one. Obviously a lot more confidence back into the arm of a pitcher with 2 outs in the inning, regardless of where the guys in scoring position may be.
Still a 2-1 count. Pitch misses outside, and a lot of these misses for Stewart have been high and away. As another count here that moves up to 3 balls. Stewart yet to walk anybody. Hoping to avoid doing so here today. The pitch. This one hit on a line over McDermott. That'll bring home runs. Just one. Jimmy Crooks comes home to score, and we have a tie game here at Spillane Field.
Yep, very quick out into right field, and good play there by Kavanaugh. Picked it up, got it in quickly. No chance for that second run to score, but now you've got the game tied and the go-ahead 90 feet away, runners at the corners, and you still only got 1 out. And it looks like there is an arm up and warming in that Harwich Mariners bullpen.
So of course, this is Nick Stewart's debut this season on the Cape. Unsure of when the last time he threw in a game situation was.
Well, I don't know about game situation, but the last time he threw on the Cape was in Game 2 of that championship series. Looks like the arm up and warming in that Harwich Mariners bullpen is Matthew Pushert.
Not quite sure how Colin Casey managed to figure that out, but impressive.
We don't question his methods, we just appreciate his results.
So conversation on the mound here. Runner on third is Cameron James. Kellum Clark stands on first. Still only 1 out. It was Yohandy Morales who struck out swinging to open up the 6th inning. It was a good start to the inning for the pitcher Stewart. In fact, he had retired 4 straight, but since then the last 3 straight have all gotten on. It's all 3 straight singles as well. Nick Stewart. Fresh count to the new batter, and Cade Fergus. Big swing and a miss from Fergus. He's behind now 0-1.
Now, this is a good guy to have at the plate if you're Wareham. Cade Fergus did have that big double. He scored the only run prior to this inning. As Wareham slowly starting to get their way back into this. And Harwich going to need a big inning to respond on the other side. But again, this has just been a slog of a game. Tough to stay in it here for either side.
0-1 pitch. That misses inside. Now it's 1-1.
And obviously these are the guys you're trying to retire because you got the top of the order looming. If Fergus finds his way on, you don't find a way to get Jarvis. You don't find a way to get 2 outs here, I should say. You're facing the top of the order and a couple of guys that are due for a big hit.
Yeah, the top of the order here for Wareham as the 1-1 pitch fouled off towards the Wareham dugout. Now 1 and 2, really the 3 guys who have been most potent this season for the Gatemen. Tres Gonzalez, Tommy Troy, Owen Diodati. And while a collective 1 for 9 tonight, you certainly cannot discount those guys anytime they step in the batter's box. It's a 1-2 count here to Cade Fergus. Stewart steps, kicks and delivers. Big swing and a miss. That will sit down Cade Fergus. Strikeout number 3 for Nick Stewart.
Yeah, but again, that's really big. Now he can focus on getting one more out. If Harwich gets out of the inning with just the 1 run given up, it's still a tie ball game. This is a very critical time.
So again, runners on the corners. Cameron James on third. Kellum Clark at first. Jim Jarvis, who's 2 for 2 tonight. He steps in now from the lefty batter's box. First pitch to him. That one misses up high. Count opens up at 1-0.
Good stop there by Tatum Levens. Can't afford to have anything go over your head right now, especially with a pretty speedy guy in Cameron James over there on third.
One-zero pitch is fouled off. Count now goes to 1-1. Been a lot of battles for Stewart. A lot of lengthy at-bats. Feels like this inning has gone on for quite some time. I mean, that Morales strikeout feels like forever ago at this point.
Yeah, I mean, already coming up on the 2-hour, 15-minute mark of this game, and we're not even to the final third of it yet. But a low-scoring affair, not typically the offense that you see in a game that goes this long.
A nice pitch from Nick Stewart finds its way into the strike zone for a called strike. Count now 1-2.
Yep, and Stewart could certainly use, again, one more quick strikeout. He gets himself out of the inning. Whether or not he comes out to pitch the 7th is irrelevant. Just trying to keep that run off the board. So he's got that critical go-ahead run for Wareham standing 90 feet away. Quite the stance at the plate for Jim Jarvis as well.
Very low stance. Fouls this one off over our heads. That'll go off of Wareham High School here. A couple of fans chasing after it, but yeah, an interesting stance for Jarvis. Squats down a bit, chokes up on the bat a bit as well, and brings it back behind his head. We'll see it again here. Actually keeps the bat right in front of him.
It's almost like he's squaring to bunt, but he's ready to swing away. And if Stewart decided to try to tempt fate, and I think that's exactly what Kellum Clark was trying to get him to do. Clark was way off of that first base bag, but that's a good heads-up veteran move by Nick Stewart. He doesn't rush the throw, doesn't risk anything. He's focused on trying to get the batter right now.
Yeah, certainly an interesting play by Kellum Clark to try to draw the pickoff attempt. Pitch on the outside, misses, 2-2, and I'm wondering, Tyler, maybe you can tell me, should Kellum Clark have gotten into a rundown and Cameron James decided to sneak home amongst the chaos, would the run have counted should Kellum Clark have been thrown out at either bag?
I mean, again, it's all a timing matter because you're talking about a tag. So if the tag is applied before the runner crosses home plate, then it wouldn't have counted. But you don't want to put yourself in that situation to start with if you're Nick Stewart.
2-2 pitch. No one misses inside. It's now 3-2.
Our 75th full count of the game.
Been a lengthy one here, folks. That's Blaine Field.
And you just get the feeling, it just feels like it would be fitting if this game somehow did end in a 2-2 tie.
These two teams did tie last time they met here. It was a 4-4 draw. Some offense after a lightning delay that took place in the 7th inning. It's a full count here to Jim Jarvis. The pitch. Misses up high, ball 4, bases loaded.
And now the question is, does Nick Stewart stay in the game? He's got to face the leadoff man. Tres Gonzalez already has a double today. And these are the kinds of moments that leadoff guys kind of live for it. They're so used to Steve Englert comes out. Looks like this will be the end of the line for Nick Stewart. But really quickly to finish that thought before we take a quick break, I mean, leadoff guys usually the ones setting the table, but they do love an opportunity to try to find a way to drive in those runs. So it'll be Gonzalez to face the new pitcher. We'll get you an update on who that is. After this, you're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Welcome back to baseball here at Spillane Field. A bit of a jam here for the new slinger Matthew Pushard, who is on the mound for the Mariners. The bases are currently loaded. Cameron James on third, Kellum Clark at second, Jim Jarvis on first, and the man in the batter's box taking the first pitch for a ball is the leadoff man, Trace Gonzalez. Gonzalez 1 for 3 so far today, and if you're Pushard, a difficult situation, as mentioned. Bases are loaded here, but you are tasked with just getting one out. Of course, you have a dangerous guy in Gonzalez at the plate. 1-0 pitch in for a called strike. Count now evens out at 1-1. So the day for Stewart looked like this. Pitched an inning and 2/3. Gave up a total of 5 hits in the game. Did not walk anybody. Did walk one batter and struck out 3. As the 1-1 pitch in for a called strike. Now 1-2 here. One run did come across. That was Jimmy Crooks who came home to score off of a single from Kellum Clark. And if you're Harwich, you will be thankful if you can get out of the inning with that just being the damage.
Yeah, that would be an excellent spot to be in for the Mariners, but they need one more quick one here.
Bushered in a spot to do so. The 1-2 check swing. And may have gotten a piece of it was Gonzalez, so runners will have to stay where they are despite the ball flying back to the backstop.
And again, it feels like we're approaching that window where this game, could end in a 2-2 tie, but we still have 3 full innings of baseball left to go here at Spillane Field. And then, of course, a trip back over the bridge back to Harwich.
Of course, and Harwich back in action tomorrow. They'll host the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. 1-2 pitch is skied up in the air. Runners moving around. McDermott settling under it at second. Catch is made, and the inning ends. Matthew Pushard able to record the final out to help get Harwich out of the jam. It's a tie game now from Spillane Field, 2-2. Don't go too far. Harwich coming back up to bat here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Welcome back to baseball here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Tyler Henry alongside Tim Foley as we get set for the 7th inning of play. And, well, 3 more innings left to go in this one. It'll be the Harwich Mariners due up to bat here. Press Kavanaugh leads things off, then Tatum Levins, and Matt McDermott to lead things off, then Press Kavanaugh, then Tatum Levins, the 9-1-2 hitters coming up here, and they will face off against a new pitcher. It'll be Christopher Barraza for the Wareham Gatemen. His first pitch is across for a called strike to Matt McDermott, member of the University of Arizona. U of A, as most people call them. U Arizona, as they like to be called, allegedly. 0-1 on the way. Swung on, tipped foul. Count goes to 0-2.
Do I sense some animosity there, Tyler?
Maybe a twinge. A tinge. We're inventing words. We do what we got to do. We may have to get Colin Casey involved in some trivia or something here as this one goes on. An 0-2 count right now on Matt McDermott. He's 0 for 2 so far, ground out and a strikeout. 0-2 pitch on the way. And that is called out of the zone here, so the count goes to 1-2. Wouldn't be surprised if we see this count go full here. Barraza. Check it in here. Making his Cape League debut. Does not have any official recorded stats on the season so far. We've lost Tim Foley. He's gone. He'll be returning shortly. As this, in fact, misses the zone, and the count now goes to 2-2. So we'll see if Barraza can get a strike across here. Get the feeling that McDermott's not exactly going to be chomping at the bit here on a 2-2 count. Pitch on the way. Well, he does swing and miss, and that is a strikeout. Good start for Barraza.
Yeah, it's a nice pitch.
Tim, welcome back.
Thank you, Tyler. Sorry. Had to take a brief moment there, but a nice pitch. Fastball to blow by him up high. Good stuff so far from Barraza.
Certainly is.
We talked about it. Strikeout numbers are, I mean, they're up there in this game. That's now 12 now in this game. Or, pardon me, that is not 12. That is 9.
As we work our way here, an 0-1 count now on the leadoff man, Press Kavanaugh. Yeah, you've seen a lot of strikeouts in this game. You've seen a lot of hits in this game. The runs have not been in full effect. And again, it seems like every count's been a full count. Here's a blooper out to left. That has a chance to get down, and it will. So Press Kavanaugh is aboard here. He does represent the go-ahead run. It's a single with one away here. And Tatum Levens will stride to the dish.
Yeah, the third baseman, Cameron James, he was in pretty far on that one. And I have a feeling, were he back a bit more, would have had a bit of a better chance at that. But playing further up than I think we've seen third baseman typically play.
Of course, the lights are on here at Spillane Field for Tatum Levens. And off of the distance, obviously we don't have video for this game, but a beautiful full moon. In full effect off to our right, down that first baseline. Tatum Levens comes to the plate. He's reached safely in 2 out of his 3 at-bats. He was hit by a pitch back in the first inning, reached on a walk in the second. Here he'll take strike one as the return throw back to Barraza. Gets by him and rolls all the way back to the second baseman. Some numbers on Barraza. A 7.25 ERA as a member of the Arizona Wildcats. 16 walks, 22 strikeouts in 6 games, and 21 innings pitched. That coming from master statistician Colin Casey. This pitch will miss the zone. Count goes to 1-1 here on Tatum Levens. In addition to everything else that we've kind of alluded to, talked about, joked about, whatever you want to say, it has been dead quiet at Spillane Field, including when Wareham scored a run to tie it up. Some light clapping, but there is no crowd to speak of here on hand. And it's not like it rained all that much, but it was enough to drive the tourists. Do tourists visit Wareham? I'm not 100% sure, but either way.
I think so. Onset right nearby. I was just there earlier today at Mark Anthony's Pizza.
All right.
Pretty nice location. I have to imagine there's after seeing the local area myself today, I have to imagine there is a tourist following that does come out here to Spillane Field.
Well, there you go. But that tourist following took off when the rain set in as a pickoff move over to first will keep Press Kavanaugh close. And since then, I mean, again, it's one of those games we kind of check our volume level a little bit. We're basically projecting to anybody within a nice 40, 50-yard radius. So a 1-2 count. Christopher Barraza in no hurry here. And it's another pickoff move over to first. This time a little bit closer, but still not nearly close enough to get Tatum Levens. Levens. Again, a catcher, or correction, Kavanaugh, much speedier than Tatum Levens, who stands at the dish with a 1-2 count. He has been waiting on this next pitch for about 1:45. See if he gets one here. He will not. Pickoff move over to first, not in time. Levens might request a folding chair in the meantime. And that will send Christopher Barraza into his very long pre-pitch routine. But he does come set here. The 1-2. This ball is sent out into the gap in left center. It'll track the left fielder back. Diodati settles under it, makes the catch. And it is a loud out number 2 for Brock Wilkin.
Well, I mean, the Harwich bench certainly, as that ball shot off the bat of Levens, they all thought that thing had a pretty good piece of hitting done there by Levens, but ultimately hangs up for Diodati to make the catch out and left. And he's probably been the busiest guy today. I think we've seen plenty of balls pulled out the left so far for Diodati today. That's the third one I have here on record.
Tell you what, if there's one guy that can salvage a game that's had little action, it's the man standing at the plate right now in Brock Wilkin. Wilkin trying to inject some offenses. Crooks will come out, have a word with his pitcher. And Tim, I don't typically question coaches at any point of any game, especially here on the Cape, but I do have to ask, if you're Don Sneddon, you're in second place in the West, you're clinging for dear life to that second playoff spot. You've got a 2-2 game against one of the best teams in the East, a chance to pick up a point, and you put in a guy to make his Cape League debut with a 7 ERA. Just not sure I get it. You would think Wareham would have somebody better in this situation to try to hold the deficit, but instead, it's Barraza and Brock Wilkin trying to find a way to make something happen. And, well, surprise, surprise, Brock Wilkin's not going to get a pitch in the strike zone on this occasion. I think he's maybe seen one ball in the zone this entire evening through 3 at-bats.
It's been a lot for him. A lot of just watching for him. As understandably, pitchers really wanting to avoid him.
So 1-0 count to Levens. Barraza delivers a pitch that'll miss low and inside. Of course, after this game, as previously mentioned, Harwich will have to hop on the bus and make the trip back across the bridge. We'll do the same. Reload for a game against Hyannis tomorrow. This game has kind of been the opposite of that Hyannis game that we had at the Kean Park a week ago. As Barraza settles in, brings home the pitch. Swing and a miss. Wilkin takes a cut at a pitch down and away.
A little more reminiscent of that 2-2 tie we had, of course, the other day against YD. But while that game against YD the other day, that game took just 2 hours and 25 minutes, and we have hit about 2.5 hours here with still 2 more full innings to play.
2.5.
2.5, yes. Thank you, Tyler.
Barraza will check back over to first, and I'm telling you, of all the guys we've seen on the Cape, maybe it's just the skew of the game. I don't know. Again, we're doing the best with what we have here, but Barraza has to have one of the longest in-between pitch routines that I have ever seen.
He's no Dalton Smith, I'll tell you that much.
He is certainly not. He is staring in for the sign. He will finally get it. Comes set. Brings home the pitch. Throw back to him as he gets the ball. Takes off the cap. Sweeps his hair back. Brushes his foot off. And licks his hand.
That can't be sanitary.
Pats his backside. Picks up the ball. Puts it in the glove. Takes it out of the glove. Now he's on the rubber. Now he looks in for the sign. Comes set. And 26 seconds later, delivers ball 3. No, correction. Should have been ball 4. Instead, it's called strike 2. Wilkin tossed his bat back, and now this umpire's getting some jeers from the Harwich dugout. He's gotten it from the Harwich dugout, the Harwich fans, the Wareham dugout, the Wareham fans. He's got a couple of snide comments from us, and again, it's not to be disrespectful, but this has just been, dare I use the word, a travesty of umpiring in a game that has already been prolonged by a number of factors. So here we go. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Brock Wilkin at the plate. Go-ahead run on first. He takes off. Does Kavanaugh? This one's going to be taken into left field. That's going to get down, and it has a chance to roll past the left fielder. It'll be picked up by Diodati. Kavanaugh holds up. Wilkin slides into second. He's safe. Hustle double for Brock Wilkin, and the Mariners are in business here with 2 away in the 7th for Carter Putz. And is there a guy you'd rather have at the dish right now?
Well, there you go, Brock Wilkin. I mean, some heads-up base running, too, as well as the hustle. The cutoff throw was into the third baseman, and then that allowed Wilkin plenty of time to move his way down to second as they had to make another throw onto the bag. So for Harwich, really nice sequence of events there. Now you have 2 in scoring position, some 2-out offense here.
And now you have a meeting at the mound. Don Sneddon comes out to have a word with his pitcher. Wonder who might be up and warming out in that Wareham bullpen.
They do hide it behind their advertisements in the right field side of things. You have to wonder if that's intentional, while meanwhile, the Harwich bullpen, now that I think about it, it's elevated on the left field side, so some trickery here.
And now Chris Barraza is using Don Sneddon as a, well, standing support as he does some cleat maintenance. The home plate umpire coming out to break this meeting up, drops something, leans over, picks it up, and then continues to take a slow motion walk out to the mound to break up the festivities. Instead, grabs a party hat and joins in. And now finally, we break it up. I don't know how many mound visits are remaining for Wareham. It can't be a lot. So here we go. Carter Putz at the dish. And again, this is the guy you want for the Harwich Mariners right now. He has been driving and runs in droves. He has been one of the most clutch hitters for the Mariners so far this year. And again, a guy that joined this team about a third of the way through the season. And Putz this year, 12 RBIs already, including a big go-ahead hit earlier. Takes the first pitch up above the letters. And I'm just taking an extra second or two here to make sure that what I see, what you see, and what everybody else sees is in fact what gets called behind the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. Pitch on the way. Right around the knees. Called a strike. That'll even the count at 1-1. And again, just about 30 seconds in between pitches here for Christopher Barraza. Looks in for the sign. Putz standing at the ready. 2 away here in the inning. Big opportunity for the Mariners. 1-1. That's below the knees. Count goes to 2-1. Mariners with a chance to break this game wide open. They've got Brock Wilkin on second. Press Kavanaugh represents the go-ahead run 90 feet away. 2-1 the count. The pitch to Putz. Off the outside part. Or rather, just outside. Nowhere near the plate. Count goes to 3-1. If they do load the bases, they would do so for 20th round Boston Red Sox selection Josh Hood. Stands in the on-deck circle right now. Barraza looking to avoid giving up the first runs of his CCBL season in his debut inning. The pitch. And that will be ball 4. So Carter Putz takes his base. Here comes Josh Hood.
Chance here for Harwich. Really get back in the lead, and not just get back in the lead, but open this thing up. Bases loaded. Of course, you have 2 outs. You want to be careful at the plate here. Make sure you have a really good swing on something. But really a brilliant opportunity for Harwich to get back in the lead late in the game here at Spillane.
And this is where you see Josh Hood really start to ramp up the bat speed. He is going to try to get a good swing on something here. Let's see if he gets offered anything good from Barraza. He sets first pitch. And that gets by the catcher. That's going to prompt Kavanaugh to take off. And how about that? The speed of Kavanaugh. He beats the pitcher to the plate. No chance for a throw. Everyone moves up a station. And the Harwich Mariners score their second run of the day on a wild pitch. It's the 3rd run for the Mariners overall, and they have a 3-2 lead here in inning number 7.
I mean, it feels about fitting that that's how the run comes across. But if you're Harwich, you know, you earn getting in that position. Some patient at-bats from Kavanaugh, Wilkin, and Putz that ultimately helps to put each of them on base and put a pitcher in Chris Barraza, who's making his debut in a tough situation with 2 outs. He's been away. He's been 2 outs, or 1 out away, excuse me, from getting out of the inning for quite some time now.
1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Josh Hood. May have been trying to hit that to the snack shack. Instead, it comes up empty. Count goes to 1-1. Hood's been good this year in a lot of big spots for the Mariners. So far today, he has the single where he reached second base. Go figure. Also has a line out and a fly out. Here is a chopper that'll go right at the shortstop. Picked up by Jarvis. Throw to first, dug out. And that is how the inning will end. So the Mariners strand 2, but on a wild pitch, they'll pick up the go-ahead run. It's 7th inning stretch time here at Spillane Field. 2.5 more when we come back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. It was 7th inning stretch time. And then instead of the 7th inning stretch, instead of the traditional take me out to the ball game, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack, we were treated to what I can only imagine is some kind of polka music. I don't know what that was, but whatever it was, it's not what we're used to. As Pushard's back out for another inning of work, he will face, for the Wareham Gatemen, Tommy Troy, Owen Diodati, and Yohandy Morales. Mariners have taken the lead, though. Gotta feel good if you're a Harwich fan.
Yeah, they're just trying to get the blood back going. You know, get people up and lively again with that music.
What people, Tim? Everyone's left. We got a roaring crowd of about 250 on hand if you count the people working the concession stands. This one chopped to short, almost misplayed. Preisner able to recover, picks up, throws to first in time. Mercifully, one away. Feel really bad for Pushard, too, because he's kind of been thrown into this mess. He's done really well. Let's give credit where credit is due. He came in, got out of the jam without giving up any runs. Then Harwich comes back and finds a way to take the lead in the top of the 7th. So he will earn himself another inning. And now he'll face Owen Diodati. Diodati swings and misses the first pitch he sees down in the dirt, strike one. Thanks, Tim. Yohandy Morales standing in the on-deck circle. The 0-1. That'll miss low for a ball. Pushard sets and fires, swing and a miss, strike two. And he's ahead 1-2 in the count. So Pushard back to work. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count right now on the 3-hole hitter Owen Diodati. And he will foul it off Levens, and that's not what you want to see. Levens looks like he took that off the wrist, just below the glove, and he has got quite the grimace on his face. Now the home plate umpire makes it back to the pitcher, about the fastest trip he's taken out to the mound today. Count stays at 1-2.
Yeah, you know, 11's nothing new for him, getting beat up behind the dish. And while you're a catcher, you're used to it. I mean, it wears on you after a while. And so, you know, being summer ball and all, 11's, you really want to make sure you're maintaining your health as the season moves along.
Certainly. Umpire will brush off the plate, pitch from Pushard. This is outside. Of course, been to Spillane Field a couple of times. I think this is the first time that I've noticed. There is dirt around home plate, obviously dirt on the pitcher's mound as this ball is fouled away. But the choice to go gravel for the rest of the infield. So there is some dirt here at Spillane Field. Count 2-2 now. Pushard working on Diodati, who again has had a very good season, has not had a very good day. He is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. And he will swing and miss at a pitch in the dirt. Takes so much time before he ran down to first that Tatum Levens had time to run halfway to the Wareham dugout, pick it up, and then run back and tag him. Diodati seems like he was prepared for his day to be over. That's out number 2. Credit another strikeout to Pushard. That's 4 on the day for him. Correction, that is strikeout number 1 on the day. Yohandy Morales takes ball 1.
I mean, even still, he's done a nice job for Harwich since coming in last inning.
Pushard brings home the 1-0 pitch. Looked a bit low, called strike 1. And the count is even at 1 apiece. Morales so far today, 1 for 3, strikeout a single. I'll take this in the dirt. Count goes to 2-1. And this one's chopped back to the Mariners' dugout, so the count goes 2-2. And actually, closest we've had to getting a baseball. Now you hear the clambering of footsteps as everybody sprints down, and Tim Foley's got himself a baseball for the first time this season. Off an assist from our very own Tyler Layton, Tim Foley has a baseball. And the count is full.
Thank you, Tyler.
Yohandy Morales looking at a 3-2 here. Swing and a miss. Pushard got him. And Pushard shoving here through his first 2 innings. That is 3 up, 3 down for the first time in quite some time. We will step away when we come back. To the 8th we go here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Tyler Henry alongside Tim Foley as we head to the 8th inning of this one. Actually, yes, 8th inning of this one. Harwich Mariners with a 1-run lead. It'll be Dylan Phillips, Jordan Beck, and Zach Preisner due up. They will be facing Christopher Barraza. And the first pitch is swung on and missed here by Dylan Phillips.
Yeah, you know, for as long as he takes in between pitches, I mean, that was a really nice pitch to open up this inning from Barraza. Blew that one by Phillips.
And now taking a long time looking in. Comes from the windup. The 0-1 pitch is swung on and lifted high and deep out to right. Tracking it back is Gonzalez to the track, to the wall. He jumps up and it is gone. Solo shot for Dylan Phillips, and the Mariners take a 2-run lead here in the 8th.
I mean, we've said it time and time again. How great has this guy been for Harwich since being added to the roster? Comes in a big spot here, helps to add an insurance run to maintain this lead the Mariners have right now late in the game.
Absolutely huge insurance run for the Mariners. Dylan Phillips, his first home run of the year. And you talk about injecting instant offense into a lineup. That's what Dylan Phillips has done. He's been a guy that we knew had high potential, but he's now a mainstay in this lineup, and I don't know that he'll leave for the rest of the season.
It's going to be tough to have anybody outplay him at this point the way he's been riding.
Jordan Beck will take a strike here. Count goes to 0-1 as Barraza still working out of the windup, but now it's a 4-2 ball game. The Mariners hold the lead, and you wonder if they may have somebody else up and warming or if it's going to be Pushard for another inning. This one in there for a called strike. Count goes to 0-2 here on Jordan Beck. Barraza working out of the windup. Eventually, here we go. The 0-2. And this one's going to be laced into the gap in left center field. That's going to get down, and it will roll, and it's misplayed out in center. Fergus couldn't get a glove on it. That's going to allow the runner to turn. He's going to head for third, and he is going to be in without a throw. The throw came in. It was so far offline. Jordan Beck turned around. No question there. It looked risky until the throw was about 20 feet off the mark. And it is a stand-up triple for Jordan Beck. Harwich might not be done yet.
Well, the thing with that throw is that it was Cade Fergus in the outfield who had finally tracked it down, and when he had thrown it to third, that thing actually had so much spin on it. It started to tail away from the third baseman, peeled out, and bounced into foul territory, making it really easy for Beck to be able to get into third safely.
So that'll be the end of the line here for Christopher Barraza. We will step away and we come back. It's another pitching change here from Wareham. You're listening on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Tyler Henry alongside Tim Foley. New pitcher coming into the game is Rob Hughes, a transfer from Furman to Clemson. And he will be tasked with trying to get a couple of quick outs here, prevent Harwich from tacking on another insurance run. After the triple, Jordan Beck standing on third base, and at the plate, Zach Preisner has already got a single today. First pitch to him will miss upstairs, and I see 2 strikes on the scoreboard here. Guessing that just didn't get cleared off, as I believe they pulled the pitcher right after the triple, and yep, there we go. So it's a 1-0 count. Getting all caught up here. Hughes brings home the next pitch. That's in for a strike. Count goes to 1-1.
That's not to say, though, that we have not seen pitching changes during at-bats this year.
True, it has happened, typically in odd circumstances where you're worried about a guy's health, but every now and then you'll see a guy get pulled in the middle of an AB. Right now it's 1-1 count. Hughes trying to work quickly here. Pitch on the way. That's swung on by Preisner. Heads up. Max Codier dives out of the way down there. Everyone's got to be careful. Keep your head on a swivel. Not everyone has the thin netting protecting them that we do.
No, of course.
Preisner digs back in a 1-2 count here, trying to drive in the run. Mariners looking to make it 5-1 if they can bring in Jordan Beck from third. Hughes sets. Brings home the pitch. That'll miss outside. Good stop there by Crooks, who's been awfully busy today. And yeah, I mean, you look at how Harwich scored their 3 runs in this game. Tatum Levens was hit by a pitch to reach base. Brock Wilkin reached on a walk. Levens came across to score on a wild pitch. Of course, Wilkin came across to score in the same inning. And then Kavanaugh gets on with a single, comes across to score also on a wild pitch. Mariners then get a solo shot from Dylan Phillips. Team in this game has 4 runs. So far, I believe just 6 hits. Count is 3-2. Filled up here to Zach Preisner. Notre Dame product. Looking to bring another across here for the Ums. Pitch on the way. And he will lunge at this. That'll get down, and that will score a run. RBI single for Zach Preisner. He holds up. Beck comes across to score, and it's a 5-2 ball game. Mariners leading it by 3.
Yeah, Harwich has opened it up here entirely. You know, after what has been a slow game to this point, we've seen plenty of scoreless innings. Harwich finally getting back to their old ways here, and it was all initiated by Dylan Phillips hitting a home run out to right field. And then it just continued from there. Beck with the triple, and then Preisner able to drive him home. Harwich has woken up here in the 8th inning.
That will close the book on Christopher Barraza. He finishes his day going just 1+. Gives up 3 runs, all of them earned on 4 hits. Walks 1, strikes out 1. So now it is firmly in the grip of Rob Hughes, who is responsible for the runner on first. Quick pickoff move over to first. Matt McDermott at the plate. So far today, 0 for 3, pair of strikeouts and a ground out on the day. McDermott stands in. Hughes will bring home the pitch. That'll miss upstairs. Count goes to 1-0. Of course, again, one last look at your out-of-town scoreboard here. The Whitecaps beat the Chatham Anglers 3-1. The Katuitt Cavaliers get a victory over the Hyannis Harbor Hawks 6-1. That makes this game important for Wareham as they try to match pace in points. Falmouth gets a 2-0 victory over YD. That's big for the Harwich Mariners, who are trying to create some separation between themselves and the Red Sox. So this makes it a 1-1 count. That big victory a couple days ago over YD gave them a 1-game lead. With the loss, if Harwich can hang on for a win here today, they'd have a 2-game lead over the 3rd best team in the East. Orleans and Bourne, it's a 2-1 lead for the Firebirds in the bottom of the 7th out at Doran Park, and here it's 5-2 Mariners. 1-1 pitch. Fouled away here by McDermott. And he'll fall behind 1-2.
And just to talk about the Western playoff picture for a little bit, you know, that's a Katuitt team that's snapping a 5-game losing streak. So Wareham has had some time to make up ground. And it'd be tough to start losing that once again after Katuitt couldn't really get out of their own way for a few games.
Well, it's weird because they have the same number of points, but when you look at the standings, you see a team that has a 9 in the win column, even with a team that's got an 11 in the win column. But those 4 ties important for this Gateman team, including one against Harwich, as McDermott strikes out for the 3rd time today. And that'll take us back to the top of the order here. Press Kavanaugh due up here. Pair of singles in his last 2 at-bats, including a run scored back in the 7th. That run gave the Mariners at the time a 3-2 lead. So Kavanaugh trying to get things going again here for the Harwich Mariners. They've got a runner on first here in the top of the 8th. Of course, with Wareham being at home, as there's a pickoff move over to first. Harwich will need to record 6 more outs. Close this one up. Got some numbers here on the new pitcher into the game, Rob Hughes. He had 17 appearances, 16 of those out of the bullpen, as this ball is popped up into that Bermuda Triangle, falling fast but not fast enough. Settling under it to make the catch in left is Diodati, 2 away. But to go back to that, looking at some numbers here on Rob Hughes at Clemson here in 2021. 17 appearances, 16 out of the bullpen, a 1-0 record, 4.24 ERA, 23 strikeouts, 12 walks, and did have a problem keeping the ball in the ballpark to a degree. Gave up 6 home runs on the year. So that'll bring up Tatum Levens. Levens has reached base twice today, still looking for his first hit, as he flew out to left field in each of his last 2 at-bats. Runner goes. Throw down to second. It's going to be a good throw, and that will get him. So the inning ends as Zach Preisner is picked off trying to swipe second, but not before Harwich tacks on 2 more, including a Dylan Phillips solo shot. To the home half of the 8th we go. Mariners lead at 5-2 here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back here to Spillane Field in Wareham, Massachusetts. Tyler Henry, Tim Foley, bringing in the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Jimmy Crooks, Cameron James, and Callum Clark due up. Wareham Gateman now down to their final 6 outs. And again, critical here for the Western Division standings, because with the Falmouth Commodores picking up a victory today, really no other opportunity for Wareham other than to come back and try to salvage a win to maintain that second playoff spot. Still plenty of baseball left to be played, but this is the home stretch. Bushard's back out for another inning. A good vote of confidence being placed in him, and of course a 3-run lead that he will try to defend. He's looked really good. He has really shown some impressive stuff throughout his first couple of outings.
Yeah, and that's been important for Harwich to find some more bullpen guys. It's felt like, as the bullpen has been solid.
This ball is going to be swung on, taken to second, picked up. Easy play for McDermott, who flips first in time for the first out of the 8th.
Still feels like it needs a another guy or two, and Pusher coming in. It seems like he's slotting in pretty well here for Harwich, as you mentioned, doing well so far here.
Yeah, I mean, this is just an absolutely loaded bullpen. You add it to the lineup that this Mariners team has. Again, this is going to be a tough team to beat down the stretch. Squaring around to bunt, taking ball one here is Cameron James. That'll give Brock Wilken a chance to cheat up a little bit. Do the same for Putz over on first. 1-0 the count. Pusher brings home the pitch. That's crossed for a called strike. You get the feeling after this game, Tim, this may be the new Cape League record for fastest time from the huddle to the bus for the Harwich Mariners. As this ball is rocketed back towards the dugout. Count goes to 1-2.
Yeah, I mean, I think they may save whatever it is they have to say for the bus ride.
Even without the bridge traffic, it's quite a trek getting back onto the Cape and all the way back to the friendly confines of Harwich, Massachusetts. The 1-2 from Pushard. Chopped up the middle. Preisner charges in, takes it off the bat hop, throws to first, dug out by Putz, and more excellent defense here for the Harwich Mariners. That was a tough play as Preisner had it kind of pop up off the lip of the grass there. Had to adjust himself, made the catch, and then threw to first, and a good dig by Putz for the second out.
It's always tough to play those balls that are right at the intersection of the grass and, in this case, the gravel. Really nice job done by Preisner to be able to get a good read on it and make the throw still in time for Putz, as that one was even still with a nice pick over at short, nearly beat out by James.
So that brings up Kellum Clark, who checks a swing at the first pitch that he sees. They appeal, and as he goes around, much to the excitement of the Harwich Mariners dugout. And this ball is going to be popped way up. This will stay on the infield. Putz will come over, but ultimately it's McDermott who settles under it and makes the catch for the out. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings. The only two 1-2-3 innings for the Wareham Gatemen at the plate. Harwich with one last chance to tack on some insurance runs. As to the ninth we go here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Tyler Henry alongside Tim Foley. Another inning of work coming up here for Rob Hughes. And for Harwich, one last chance to tack on some insurance. They've got 3 All-Stars due up here. Tatum Levens, Brock Wilken, and Carter Putz. First pitch to Levens in there for a called strike. Count goes to 0-1. Really the only inning of kind of flashy offense, or at least offense that felt like real offense for Harwich, came in the 8th inning. Or I should say, really what felt like real offense for either teams. As 7 runs come across today, but only a couple of the noisy variety, and the Mariners hold those. And ultimately, it doesn't matter how you win the game. All that matters is that you come away with a victory. Mariners 3 outs away from walking out the door here with their 2nd consecutive win. The 0-2 swung on and ripped up the middle. That's going to be a base knock here for Tatum Levens, his first hit of the day. And Harwich is in business with nobody out.
Yeah, it feels like the first time Harwich has really strung together hits all day. These past now inning and a batter here as Levens gets on with a single. I mean, you had the first 2 runs that came across. One came home on a wild pitch. Another one did come home on a single. But even still, just a lot of small ball has been played in this game. A lot of walks, a lot of wild pitches advancing batters. Not a lot of hit batters, although it was that one back in the first inning that put Levens on first base for the first time.
So that'll bring up Brock Wilkin, who had the double back in the 7th that moved that moved Press Kavanaugh to third. Pickoff move over to first. I feel like we've had a new record for pickoff moves over to first base as well.
We have seen enough to last a week.
And again, not to try to get in the head of the pitcher or anything here, but as this next pitch misses down, you're throwing over on a catcher. Not saying Levens doesn't have good speed, but you're throwing over on a catcher. To check the numbers, Tatum Levens this year, how about that? 0 stolen base attempts. But trying to keep him close. He'll bring home the next pitch. That is in there for a called strike to Wilkin. Carter Butts standing on deck. Another pickoff move over to first. Not in time. Actually, correction. Tatum Levens does have 2 stolen base attempts. He is 1 for 2. So clearly Hughes checked the scouting report. The 1-1. Swung on and roped foul. Harwich dugout getting into it, having a little fun here. Up by 3 in Wareham.
And on Levens, once again, I mean, we talked about how Harwich pretty much has 3 leadoff guys. And, yes, a catcher, but, you do have to be quick at times. You need to have quick reflexes. And a good jump can outpace speed, really, if you're able to use it well.
1-2 to Wilkin. Misses in the dirt. Quick update on your out-of-town scoreboard. The Bourne Braves come from behind and tie it up with the Orleans Firebirds. In equally shocking and interesting news, tonight's forecast called for a 100% chance of dark.
Yeah, I mean, that's Bourne doing Bourne things.
Hughes ready to go, looking over to first. Wonder if he'll check back on Levens again or bring home the 2-2 to Wilkin. It will be a pitch, and Wilkin will foul it away. We'll do it again. You also wonder if it'll be pushered for another inning or if Harwich will go to a new arm out in the bullpen. Certainly options for the Mariners.
There is action up in the bullpen, but not sure if guys are just trying to stay limber.
With a 3-run lead, you never know. Hughes sets, brings home another pitch. And this is called strike 3 on Brock Wilkin. 1 away. That is the second strikeout of the outing here for Hughes, and that'll bring up Carter Butts. Butts stands in from that righty's batter's box. His team leading at 3-2. Again, he's got Tatum Levens over on first, facing off against the Clemson product and Rob Hughes. And there's another check over to first base. The only other remaining question from Bourne is, will the Braves find a way to get another victory? This team is now 19-3-3. They have lost 3 times in over a month and a half. Just absolutely absurd things out in the West.
And it's really especially impressive when you consider how much turnover occurs on these rosters over the course of an entire season. Bourne has maintained that same energy that they had.
Pitch misses here. I was just going to say, they've also maintained basically the same roster. I mean, we've talked about it a lot this year. They had the fewest draft-eligible guys of any team on the Cape. So a lot of turnover throughout the Cape League, but not a lot of action here. As this is swung on and tipped back into the glove. Count goes now to 2-1, and Eric Adler will come in now for the Bourne Braves. So good luck to Orleans, trying to hit a guy who's been basically a machine here in the Cape League in terms of that strikeout to walk ratio.
Yeah, I mean, we got to look at him the other night when Bourne came to town, and he was every bit as good as the numbers have shown.
Swing and a miss here, evens the count at 2-2. You're talking about a guy who has 11 innings pitched this season, 22 strikeouts, 0 walks. He's averaging 2 strikeouts an inning. Leads the Cape in saves by double the margin of second place. And he will be tasked with, at the very least, keeping this to a 2-2 draw with the Bourne Braves. Here it's a 5-2 lead for Harwich. Pitch shot on the way, swing and a miss, strike 3. Carter Butts down on strikes for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a nice inning here for Hughes after giving up that leadoff single to Tatum Levens. Back-to-back strikeouts and these have looked good so far here for Wareham. This is the kind of shutdown inning you need if you're the Gateman.
So that'll bring up Josh Hood for the 5th time today. Hood has a single back in the first, a line out, a fly out, and a ground out. No strikeout for him in this one. No walks either. First pitch misses down and inside. Count starts off at 1-0. Here on the future member of the Wolf Pack of NC State. Team that quickly captured the hearts of America this year after effectively being removed from the tournament by the NCAA. The 1-0. Misses upstairs. Count goes to 2-0.
Yeah, that really was a travesty. I know we did our whole soapbox routine back in the road game in Falmouth when that was the talk of the town at the time. But really, you know, thinking back to that really was of course, unprecedented situation to try and deal with it, but the whole way it was gone about was a little fishy.
Certainly felt like it as this ball is skied high in the air out to right center field. Drifting over is Fergus. He'll make the catch, and that'll do it for the top of the 9th. So, to the home half we go. Harwich looking to hang on for a victory. They lead it 5-2 here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back to Spillane Field for the thrilling conclusion of what has been a marathon of a baseball game here. Matthew Pushert out for another inning of work, and this has been an impressive performance here for Pushert. He's looked very good, and he's out to close it out. 3 more outs, and this game is over.
Yep, that's all you got to do here, and you have a pretty nice cushion to work with, too, so you have to feel confident on the mound, trust in what you're going to throw, and you know, try and get on top of this Wareham team here early. Go after guys.
He'll face the 8, 9, and 1-hole hitters. It'll be Kate Fergus, Jim Jarvis, and Tres Gonzalez due up for a Gateman team that has certainly seen better days. First pitch from Pusher just off the plate for ball 1 here. I think we've talked about it before, but his delivery, it's very upright. It doesn't seem like the same motion you see from a lot of guys, but it's worked out well for him, and Again, he's had a pretty good season here so far. Misses his next pitch. That'll make the count 2-0 on Fergus. Wareham desperately trying to find their way back into this game and back into the second place spot in the West. Talked about the Eastern Conference, or the Eastern Division rather, kind of hoarding all the victories. The fourth place team in the East right now has a 500 record. Of course, the worst team in the East at 10-14-3 would actually be in the hunt for that second playoff spot in the West. Pushard's 2-0. In there for a called strike, and actually it makes it 3-1.
And that's one of the things that, you know, in years past, with 4 teams making the playoffs, it really isn't a storyline heading into the end of the season.
It's going to be a walk issued here by Pushard, his first of the day, and that'll be Cade Fergus standing on first for Jim Jarvis.
But now with just the 2 playoff spots in each division, it really makes for some interesting storylines down the season, because you could be in 3rd place, and while that would normally be good to secure a playoff spot, you're on the outside looking in.
Well, and you're also going to see a situation where teams are going to be eliminated earlier than they usually are, just because if you're in 5th place going into the last week of the season, your hopes are pretty dire, as the first pitch is in for a called strike here to Jarvis.
And being eliminated does not automatically secure the rest of the division, so it's not a matter of just knocking one team out. 3 teams are going to have to go down in each division, and they're going to fight to the end.
Yep, that they will. Pushard's next pitch swung on and taken into right field. That's going to get down for at least a single. They'll wave the runner around to third base, and he will be up without a throw. So a walk and a single for Jarvis, and don't look now, but the tying run comes to the plate, and the leadoff hitter, Tres Gonzalez.
Yeah, not the situation you want to be in here if you're Harwich, because now you have this top of the lineup, which, while we talked about it last time, alluded to the power they had last time, and then proceeded to go 0 for 3 across the 6th and 7th innings, it's still a part of the lineup that should be feared for this Wareham team in Gonzalez, Troy, and Diodati.
But glass half full perspective, you boat raced YD a day before an off day yesterday. They have pretty much anyone that they want out of the bullpen available for this game if they do need it. First pitch misses just low and inside here to make it a 1-0 count on Tres Gonzalez. Wonder who might be up and warming out in that Harwich bullpen. Plenty of options, plenty of all-star options, no less. But it looks like, no surprise here, as this pitch is swung on and taken high in the air, but into foul territory. Harwich will, in fact, be warming up their closer in Owen Cody, who I'm sure is very excited for an opportunity for a quick bounce-back game after really the only shaky outing we've seen from him all year in a weird 9th inning against Bourne.
And that was, I think, one of the tougher situations he's been put in all year, was the bases loaded against one of the hottest team on the Cape. And so, depending on what happens here with these few runners on base and in the box, it could be another interesting situation he's put in the 9th.
Runner starts to take off, then comes back. Big swing and a miss. That'll make it a 1-2 count. Pushard gets ahead, and once again, you see Wareham trying to play some mind games behind the pitcher, as Jim Jarvis got about a third of the way down to second base before he turned around.
Yeah, I think before it was Kellum Clark who kind of made a half move down to second to try and bait the throw from Nick Stewart. Ultimately, nothing came of it, but another interesting situation. Wareham certainly likes to try and play with the minds of these pitchers.
Clearly something that they've practiced. Pitch here, fouled back to the, or back behind the school building. Count stays 1-2. So again, Owen Cody up and warming out in that Harwich bullpen. See whether or not they end up needing his services. Count is 1-2. Pushard's looked good so far. These base runners are the first he's given up in his appearance. Came in and ended the 6th, got out of a runners on the corners jam. Gets a big swing and a miss. Strike 3. That is a huge strikeout, number 3 on the day for Pushard, and he sends Tres Gonzalez packing.
Yeah, that is absolutely a big strikeout. You needed to get that one there. You cannot let the bases be loaded with no outs for Troy and Diodati, who would each be coming up. And so, one away here. Double play opportunity if you're Harwich. If you're Pushard, you want to think about how you deliver to this guy. You want to throw over every pitch with confidence. And, you know, if a guy were to hit the contact, that could be the move here for Harwich to try and pitch to that.
So Pushard settles in. He'll face off against the aforementioned Tommy Troy. So far today, Troy is 0 for 4. He'll foul the first pitch away here. Grounded into a double play. Grounded out to the shortstop twice. Flew out to center back in the first. In what has been a lackluster day at the plate, despite the fact that this is a Wareham team that's had their fair share of hits. They just haven't been able to string anything together. This pitch will miss. Count goes even at 1-1 in this game. The Wareham Gatemen have 10 hits. The Harwich Mariners have 10 hits. This has not felt like a 20-hit ball game. I will say that. But the Mariners leading at 5-2, looking for 2 more outs to close it out. Pushard's next pitch in there for a called strike. He's ahead 1-2.
It hasn't looked like a 20-hit ball game. It's only a 7-run game. It's been a very low-scoring affair, but it has felt like one. This has been a drawn-out game to this point.
A lot of runners left on base for both teams. A lot of runners left in scoring position. Pushard's 1-2. Swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt. Nowhere to go as he can't take first with the runner there. And that is another monstrous strikeout. And now Pushard's got 2 away.
I mean, way to battle back. You walk the first guy, give up a single to the second guy to put runners on the corners with no outs, but you come back, 2 big strikeouts swinging. Really nice bounce back from Pushard in this inning, and we'll see what he's able to do with this final man here for the Gatemen.
He's facing Owen Diodati, who's already got the golden sombrero on the day. 3 strikeouts and a hat trick for Diodati. First pitch to him, just off the plate for a ball here. But yeah, that pitch to Tommy Troy, it bounced in front of the plate. And he's still offered at it, and then of course you can't attempt to take first with a runner there, so strikeout number 4 on the day for Pushard. The 1-0. That's in the dirt. Good stop. Runner will move up. Levens keeps it in front of him, but that will move Jim Jarvis into scoring position. With a 3-run lead, the tying run is at the plate. The 2 runners in scoring position are of little to no consequence if nobody else crosses home plate. Counts 2-0. Pushard looking for 1 more quick out. Working out of the stretch here. Big number 24 for the Harwich Mariners. He comes set. 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. And he gets a lot of those. We see a lot of guys bite. People haven't really been able to square one up on him so far.
No, and it's been these nice pitches, too, that are just blowing by these guys. They can't seem to catch up to it. Pushard, really nice job with both velocity and location here these past few at-bats.
Pushard is only previously to this appearance 2/3 of an inning. This ball is going to be tipped foul, and just like that, he battles back 2-2. He had 1 strikeout and no walks in those 2/3 of an inning. Coming in here and getting the job done. He's gone all the way through the order and then some. 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 hit. Looking to get his team out of a jam and close this one out. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count right now on Owen Diodati. Runners on second and third, tying run at the plate. Time is called and granted to the batter. So again, 2-2. Pushard looking to finish this one up for the M's. Harwich Mariners 9-3-3 in their last 15 ball games. And this will be fouled off the upper thigh. That's the optimistic thought for Owen Diodati, who appears to have shook this one off. Really rough day at the plate for him. Rough day at the plate for the top 3 guys in the order, who collectively are 1 for 14 with 5 strikeouts. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pushard comes set. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that is the game. 5 strikeouts for Matthew Pushard, an absolute gem for him. And the Mariners mercifully claim a 5-2 victory over the Wareham Gatemen. We'll step away for just a moment, come back, and wrap it up here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. All right, so 5-10-0. Okay, yeah,
1 hit.
Matt'll get us a graphic on that. 5, let's see, 2, 10, 0. 2 more left on. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I have Pushard's line.
I've got
If you need it.
Yeah, hit me.
3 and a third.
Okay.
1-0-0.
Beautiful. Thank you.
I was just
2, 3,
thinking
4,
that.
5, 6, 7. Wait, what'd you say? Oh God, yeah, that's tough. Time of death? 10:15. Okay. I don't even care about win law. Actually, win goes to. Uh. Okay. Whoever gave up the. Yeah, whoever gave the hit. Barraza. All right. What was his name? Christopher.
Barza? Yeah.
Okay. You can grab it, dude. All right, let's do it. Welcome back one last time. Here to wrap it up, Tyler Henry alongside Tim Foley. And final numbers look like this. The Harwich Mariners get a 5-2 victory. They have 5 runs on 10 hits, no errors, 9 runners left on base. The Wareham Gatemen, 2 runs on 10 hits, no errors, 10 runners left on base. Between the two, 19 runners left on base, and that turns into a 3-hour and 15-minute affair. Or correction, a 3-hour and 30-minute affair. This game starting at about 6:45. So that's it here, but the ultimate thing to highlight in this game, a really good pitching performance from Matthew Pushert. Harwich, a team that was not exactly in desperate need of another dude out of the bullpen, may have just found one. As Pushert goes 3 1/3, he gives up just 1 hit, no runs, walks 1, strikes out 5, and that Mariners bullpen just continues to get deeper and deeper here, Tim.
Yeah, it was really excellent to see Pushard come out here and do some really nice work. You're going to need pitching. The bats have come alive here, and while pitching's really not been too much of a problem for Harwich all year long, if you want to make a championship run, if you want to be a championship roster, you need to have solid pitching through and through your starting lineup and your bullpen. And so really nice to see the emergence of Matthew Pushard, a guy that Harwich can go back to. Able to keep Cody out of the game and not have to put him in any tough situation with runners on the corner. So really nice job to bounce back by Pushard and lock down the win.
Yep, the win goes to Matthew Pushard. The loss goes to Christopher Barraza. And the Harwich Mariners win it. They are now 10-3-3 in the team's last 16 games. They get the victory here over the Wareham Gatemen 5-2. Harwich will be back in action tomorrow. That game coming up at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch that at White House Field or right here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. I'll be on that call alongside Colin Casey. But in the meantime, for Tyler Henry, for Tim Foley, for Colin Casey, for Chris Cassidy, and for Matthew Fisher, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.